is up, everybody? It is Ro with another video. Welcome back, people worth. What is up? Happy Friday. You know what Friday means. It's defending Jacob time. Episode 6 just released, and it's actually pretty early. It's noon right now on Friday, and I usually watch in the night. It's just, I don't know, I love watching it in the night. But I had time today because I woke up super early to see Scoob and then write a review on it, which, by the way, is up on my Instagram and Rotten Tomatoes account if you want to check it out. But I watched it early, and now I'm gonna upload this review on Friday early time, so I'm really excited. So let's get on with it. You know how I said in my last episode I had minor criticism in episode 5? Just when I open my mouth and say I have minor criticisms, episode 6 comes and knocks me the frick down. Episode 6, top tier episode. These last 3 episodes are going to be one of the best, and I'm so freaking excited for next week because it's going down. Morton Tildum, I don't know how many times I'm gonna say this with all my reviews. You are amazing. You just knew how to take one of my favorite books of all time and adapt it. Episode 6 is so strong with the storyline and the plotline and everything, and so strong in continuing the story. I had a lot of oh my god moments in this episode because I always, as always, go back and compare it to the book. So before I begin, I am gonna say this is huge spoiler zone for the TV and also huge spoiler zone for the book, but I'll try my best not to reveal that much information from the book if you still want to read it. The acting here was very, very strong, and I really want to talk about my favorite scenes because this just relates how much the performances really do a good job into making this TV series super great. They did touch on some of my favorite scenes in the book, and they did it well. And I'm going to start off with saying the fight with Andy, Lori, and Jacob in his bedroom when they find out that he made an Instagram account, Jacobs, and posted that Photoshop photo of his head on Norman Bates' body from Psycho. It was exactly like I imagined it play out in the book, okay? Because to begin with, like, oh, my favorite line has to be, good, he should be scared, I'm scared. That's one of my favorite lines. It's not particularly in the book, but I love that they added that in there. Here, Andy is super furious, and Lori, of course, is always like the mama cub, and she's like, you're being too hard to him, calm down, you know, everything. And Jacob here, this is exactly how Jacob is in the book, because even though Martell is adding his own spice, Jacob here was very, like, non-responsive. He's like, it's no big deal, I'm sorry, like, it's whatever, with, like, his gentle voice and everything, because that's how he is. He's very laid back. He doesn't think certain situations are a big deal. And then you have Andy here who's super, super upset, and then Lori trying to find the calmness in the situation. When Jacob gets upset, Andy's like, I'm so sorry, like, I didn't mean to yell, but I just really am looking out for you. And he's like, yeah, whatever. This is exactly how this scene went down, just like when they found out of the murder gene, and when Jacob is describing how he found Ben in the woods. This is just another example of adapting such an important scenario in the book and putting it into the series. Now, here's where Tildum brings in his own uniqueness. That's one main point I'm kind of really fixating on, because adapting is so hard to do. And I have seen many films that don't do a really good job, and this series is a big example of how it does it. But also changing it up. So the car interaction is different when we see the Mustang that is stolen. Andy doesn't really go up to the guy. He finds out in the end who this guy is, like the end. Here he's confronted by him and he sees him. In the book he doesn't at all. So that's just like changing it up. Same with chasing Lori during her running. And can I say, the music in that scene and in another scene, the cherry on top of building up suspense and intensifying a scene. And also with the birthday scene, you know how we get some little breathers and cute family time. Those are little breathers and nice moments that Tildum is adding here, like highlighting on Jacob's birthday and all that. So I really love that. Let's get into 2 huge things that come out of this, guys. We're gonna begin with Matt and Pat's. I remember back in my 2 other reviews, I think it was episode 4 particularly, the Matt's and Pat's situation went down differently. Matt, Pat's, and Andy's situation went down differently. I was really relieved that Tildum decided to add this on here, but he did it freaking different, and this is huge book spoiler. We obviously find out that Matt made up the whole incident that happened with him and Pat's in the library. Since Pat's wanted to get closer to Matt, you know, he's a pedophile, Matt saw an opportunity to make cash, so he would let him do certain things to him in exchange for money. So that is very, very similar to the book. That is exactly what the big reveal was, that he was supposed to tell Andy there at the house, because in the book he finds out directly, like right off the bat, Matt tells him. What literally made me drop my mouth is that they tell Logidus and they tell the lawyers, the attorneys, and the police. They go and tell Lynn. This does not happen. This is major. In the book, that information is forgotten. It's presented, but in the end, Andy wanted Matt to tell the police, and Matt's like, why would they believe me? He's like, well, because you have a story to tell and this is the truth. He's like, yes, but I already lied and made an accusation that wasn't true about Pat's specifically in the library. So why would they believe me? And oh my gosh, I can't remember exactly the words, but Andy ends up just disregarding that information. That it was important to say, but it just felt like it wouldn't be a strong argument. They wouldn't believe this kid. Now, they are still playing off that emotion, and they don't really believe him. They don't think he is a very strong witness. My mouth dropped. I was like, they don't tell the police in the book. They disregard this information. So this is crazy. They're going to play on this. They're actually going to grab this as evidence unless they decided just to tell the police and then this never, this information doesn't show up later in the show, in the next 2 episodes. To end this review, we are going to freaking trial. Guys, this is another big difference in the book. Now, obviously, I don't know what's gonna happen next episode. Tildum can switch it, but we're going to freaking trial. Can we please talk about the ending scene, the ending music, the ending shots, the ending scene, how it played out? Holy hell. Just like I said, other episodes had a banging opening. Well, guess what? Episode 6 had a banging closing. I will not spoil something big in the book. I will say there is a difference. With us going to trial, there lies a big difference. That's all I'm saying. Episode 6, 12 out of freaking 10. I better see that tomato meter go more up. It's been going up. It started like at 50% rotten. Now it's, I believe, 64%. With episode 6, it should fly up to 70. This one of my favorite episodes. And also, I just want to mention Emmy predictions dropped. Not Emmy predictions have been dropping since March, but now they obviously been constantly updated. And Defending Jacob is predicted to be nominated in a lot of categories, especially limited series. I personally think it should be in the front runners, but it's under the major threat categories. And then a lot of the actors, Chris Evans fell into the front runners. And then I know Dockery, Martell, Simmons, and Cherry Jones, they all fell into the major threats, and that's still freaking great. I cannot believe I forgot one scene though. This is where they find out whether Jacob tested positive for the murder gene. This is interesting. In the book, this is very different because in the book, he's diagnosed with 2 kinds of disorders. I know one of them is narcissistic personality disorder, and then another one has to do with empathy, which they do play on here. The biggest thing that pops up in this session is that Jacob lacks empathy. His the level of empathy he has is super low, so that's very alarming. This is something very touched in, and here I really want to give a knock to Michelle Dockery because honestly I feel like she's so underrated. She is the perfect Lori. She really is. She embodies all these characteristics that make up Lori in this scene because obviously Lori's the one who tells the lady that Jacob, when he was a kid, was about to hit another kid with a bowling ball. Like, he showed these signs already of having these kinds of qualities. And so very nerve-wracking there. And it played out perfectly with also Chris Evans. Here, Chris Evans really shows the dad quality that makes up Andy Barber in the book. The love he has for his son is so immense, and the characteristic Andy has, like, he's stubborn, and sometimes it can be ignorant, and sometimes he can be a little blinded to situations. So that played out really well, and I'm happy because this was a big section in the book that had me freaking choking because of all the descriptiveness that Landy goes into these certain kinds of disorders, and it kind of plays with your mind a little because you're like, oh my god, did Jacob do it? Is he capable of doing it? Even though he doesn't have the murder gene, these qualities are alarming. I can't believe I forgot that scene. Forgive me. That is all for today's video. If you love it, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. If you liked it more than a thumbs up, press the red subscribe button. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm also going to be having another video dropping tomorrow, which I'm so excited. It has to do with Defending Jacob. I don't want to spoil anything. I'm editing it right now, but I'm going to drop this one today. But that is all. Woo! I love Defending Jacob. If you're not on the Defending Jacob train, get on it as soon as possible, friends.